Hey everybody, it's Kim and I'm back with another episode of Empower. Today we will be talking about something that I've noticed called follower fury. And I just come up with names for things in case y'all haven't noticed that. Um, Something that I noticed, something that I've seen a couple of times from people who are um, presenting information or a service or something on social media. Um, they are really, I've noticed, into the follower count. Now, let me say this. Followers are important, obviously. I upload content not because I don't have anything else better to do or because I want to hear myself talk, but because I believe the things that I share, some of them I know for a fact are God given for me to share, and others are they fit within my God given purpose and assignment, which is to encourage, enlighten, and embolden women and all females of all ages to agree with who God created them to be. That is my goal and intent with these videos and what the written content and everything else that I have. Um, so I understand the followers. You need people to hear it um, because you're presenting something hopefully that is worth um, hearing. But what I'm referencing today is there are people who actually get upset. I mean, mad. My grandma used to say, "You don't get mad, cows are mad, people get angry." Some people get mad about a loss of followers. And I understand that there are a lot of people who make their money solely off of being an influencer, being on social media, that kind of thing. So I understand concern about, oh, am I doing something wrong? Am I, changing up so that the my core audience is leaving? Uh, so you take an inventory and you check and you make sure that you're still being authentic and you're presenting organic content and you're not jumping on some bandwagon just to this prank stuff or these sensational whatevers to get people to pay attention, but that you're presenting quality content. So I understand doing a check and balance, like, man, what's going on? But to become angry and make a post and be like, for everybody who I noticed who is unfollowing me, and why are you unfollowing me? Why did you follow me in the first place? If you would just go unfollow me, da 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 da. It's like, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Um, that makes a person like me kind of question the motive of why you're doing what you're doing. Are you doing it just so that you can say you have such and such amount of followers? Or are you concerned about the content that you're putting out and that you believe you're providing some type of enlightening service to somebody that they can benefit from? So, there's a perfect example um, that Davini's godfather gives, and he he uses it in the context about a pastor and church members. But it fits here. What he said a long time ago was, you have to remember that you're just like a bus driver. You pick people up at a certain point, you drop them off at another. They stay on until they reach their destination. And your job as a bus driver is not to harass anybody to find out why you got on at this stop, why you got off here, why'd you get back on my bus 3 months later and I haven't seen you, why you back on my bus? The bus driver's job is to go from point A to point B, get the people to their destination as safely and as on time as you can. And that's something that he didn't even say it to me, but I've heard it. Um, and it's something that I definitely keep in mind when I present information. If I'm teaching the kids at church, if I'm teaching the women at church, if I'm teaching my daughter at home, if I'm presenting information to whoever is watching this, my goal is to present the information and you decide how far it takes you. Would I love to have more followers? Yes. So please do all the things. Go to Instagram, Empower540, Facebook.com/empower, YouTube, search Empower, Empowher. Follow, subscribe. Yes. However, I'm not going to allow the lack of numbers, because if I allow the lack of numbers, the lack of interaction, the lack of commentary, the lack of feedback to stop me, you wouldn't see this right now. I think right now on my YouTube, I have 3 subscribers, and one of them is me. So this is clearly, for me, not about how many people are subscribed. I understand that I am a bus driver. I am providing information. I am providing tools through lessons that I've learned, through things that God gives me in prayer, through observation and prayer. Uh, I'm just providing information. You decide if it serves you. And this is the thing. There are people that I was in a certain place that I was following, and they helped me during that season in my life. But what they're sharing and posting and how the path that they're currently going down, it no longer serves me well. So I unfollow. I'm not I'm not gonna keep following you and keep seeing information or seeing posts and stuff that don't benefit me and being rolling my eyes at it. No, that's what the unfollow button is for. That's what the unsubscribe is for. If you no longer agree, if you no longer, or if you find out something, if we agreed up to a certain point about something because there was no discussion, you didn't present any information about a certain topic, and then when you did, I so strongly disagreed with your viewpoint that I couldn't in good conscience continue to follow you, then I unfollow. But this is the problem. People do not belong to you. That shouldn't be the goal. The goal can't be how many followers. Ultimately, that's all I'm concerned about, because that comes across and it makes you disingenuous. And people, when it's inauthentic, when it's obviously about numbers and you don't really care and you're going with every type of trend that comes and there's nothing that grounds you, people can tell that. People can feel authenticity. We can tell when you're doing something just because it's the popular thing to do. We know that. So the thing is, we can't be policing people. And the second thing that, well, I don't know if it's second or what, another thing that is true, in addition to the bus driver comment, is something that my old pastor used to say: everything big ain't healthy. Just because you have millions or thousands or however many followers doesn't mean that that's a healthy community. Doesn't mean that the people in your comments are kind and nice and helpful. There could be all types of foolishness going on in the comments, and there usually is. Um, so everything big ain't healthy. It's the same in life. We can take this whole conversation and move it into, say, friendships. People get so upset when people are no longer um, friends with them. I had to learn this a couple of different times with a couple of different people, that it could just be that I was in your life for that point in time, and you decided that I no longer benefited you. Yes, it hurts, but that's the nature of the beast. You don't belong to me. I don't belong to you. No, you don't have a monopoly on people. And unfortunately, when it's a close friendship, or when y'all been through a lot of things, or when you believe that y'all were better than that, that hurts. when y'all have had the conversation about what friendship means and how this is supposed to, how you would you value that person, or how you want to be valued, and then that person decides, okay, well, it's even worse when there's no conversation about it and they just stop. But it's something that we have to learn how to accept and deal with and grow past. It's a lesson that I had to learn. I got it now. Um, is it unfortunate? Yes. Does it hurt still sometimes? Hmm. But what I've understood is, just, I don't want, now at this age in my life, I don't want to have a whole bunch of friends just to have a whole bunch of friends. If I have one good friend who understands and values and agrees with the way that we have the same view on friendship and what it means, the value, I'm good with that. I'm good with that. Now, is it different from the way I was before? Yes. I didn't want friends just to have friends, but I used to have lots of friends. And I'm very careful about using that word. But in that point in time in my life, that's who they were to me. But I've had to come to grips with, that's not who I was to them. Or if I was that to them, I was only that to them for as long as they decided I was worth being that to them. We have to understand that that is not necessarily a reflection on us. If we've had the conversation and we've made sure that we haven't been offensive, we've asked and they've said, nah, everything cool, we not, then let that be that. Don't try and force something. You just drive your bus. Somebody else will get on and somebody else will get off. But never think that it's okay for you to scream, yell, holler, demand that you be my. No, 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 you don't want to do that. Because one, it just shows the person more than likely who decided they weren't gonna fool with you no more, that, see, this why I can't fool with you. Um, so I just want to challenge you to be careful and remember that you're on a journey in your life. We can't get hung up on if a stop is supposed to be 2 hours, if this layover is supposed to be 2 hours, we can't get hung up on the fact that so and so is here and I don't want to leave them behind. So my 2 hour layover turns into 10 years. And then I wonder why, I look back and wonder, why did I invest all this time in so and so? Now, by being that invested in them, I haven't gotten to where my journey is. I haven't gotten to where I'm supposed to be. Now I have to make up time. I have to figure out how to readjust and how to, you know, uh, how your GPS tells you it's calibrating or calculating, calculating when you've turned left too many times or right too many times and you kept straight when you were supposed to turn, and it says calculating and then it finds another route. That's what your life is. You're constantly going to find another route. That person may no longer be there. It may be by choice. Unfortunately, it may be by death. There are all different ways that this happens, but understand that the main thing that's important is that you give all that you can, all that is possible, without causing harm to yourself, um, to that person while they're on your bus. And then once they're off, okay. The good thing about it is, even if they get off your bus, you can still pray for them. You should still pray for them, especially if you know that there was nothing that you did and that you were actually a benefit to them. You definitely should pray for them. And maybe they'll come back around. Not saying that that means that you're obligated to allow them back into that same space on your bus, because that's a real thing too. We'll talk about another episode because that deserves its own time. But just be mindful that you don't begin to put demands on people or allow anyone to put demands on you. about who you have to be and how long you have to be it, if it's not serving you well, get off the bus. You can transfer to another. You can buy a car. You can start taking a train or flying. You walk. You're in charge of of getting to your next point. So don't let anybody browbeat you, and don't browbeat nobody into staying on your bus. That's all I have for you today, guys. Thanks for watching. And like I said earlier, although I don't do this for the followers, it would be nice to have some. So follow me. Subscribe on YouTube, youtube.com. Then you put in Empower, Empowher. Videos are uploaded there. Not Twitter, because I have a Twitter, but I don't need to be on there. Instagram, Empower, same spelling, but put 540 behind it. And Facebook, duh. Facebook.com/empower. That's all I got for you. I'll see y'all next time. Keep driving, y'all.